What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. I hope you guys have had a great week. I hope you're in the middle of enjoying a great weekend. As you all know, we're picking the full slate every week of the NFL games. This is week 10. So let's go ahead and get started, man. The Germany game, Indianapolis, New England. I believe this is the last of the overseas games for the NFL. It's a 9:30 a.m. kickoff on NFL Network. So if you're a football fan and you like watching football, man, you're going to have to wake up a little bit early for this one. It's not going to be as good as the last one with Kansas City, Miami, obviously. I'm going to take Indianapolis in this matchup. New England wasn't able to beat Washington after losing their top two defensive linemen for trade. They traded them away. And so if you can't beat a team that is sellers at the deadline, I don't think you're going to be able to beat a team who is coming off a hot game. The Colts, they had 2 pick sixes, and they were flying around. They were flying after the ball. So I'm going to take Indianapolis to win the last overseas game for the NFL. Moving on to Houston, Cincinnati, one of the best quarterback matchups we have this week. The young rookie C.J. Stroud is looking hot. He's ran away pretty much with the Rookie of the Year award versus the veteran Joe Burrow. He's playing great. He's been hot these past couple games. One thing to note is T. Higgins is out. Sam Hubbard on the defensive side of the ball is also out. Jamar Chase is questionable with a back injury. I don't know if he plays. A back injury can be anything from very small to very big. So wishing that all those guys are healthy for a playoff run. But I'm still going to take the Bengals. C.J. Stroud has played great, like we said. I think it's going to be a closer game than a lot of people think. Just looking at the two teams, if you looked at them and you didn't know the injuries, you would take Cincinnati without any hesitation. I'm still taking Cincinnati. Joe Burrow has a tendency to just be great no matter who's around him. He kind of makes players great instead of vice versa, him needing help. Not saying that T. Higgins and Jamar Chase aren't great with any other quarterback, but you know what I mean. And so I think that he's going to be able to do just enough to come away with the win versus Houston. Moving on to New Orleans, Minnesota, Josh Dobbs comes in and is telling the center his snap count on the sideline, and they still beat Atlanta. I don't know if Josh Dobbs is going to be able to beat New Orleans this week, so I'm going to take New Orleans. Yes, I'm biased, I know, but the reasoning for that is the offense has looked a lot better the past couple weeks for the Saints. Obviously, there is a kind of a trending story, however you want to put it, with Michael Thomas being arrested for things that we haven't even heard about yet. So we'll leave that as it may. That could hurt us. But also look for the defense to have a bounce back game against Minnesota. They played really bad against Chicago of all teams, so that is concerning. But I think it was a one-off. I think that those things happen. Those kind of games happen. And I'm going to look for New Orleans, the defense to bounce back. And I think the offense has found something with the running game. And so, yeah, we also got a couple offensive linemen coming back from injury. So I think that's going to help. Moving on, Green Bay, Pittsburgh. What a game. Both of these teams' offenses have struggled thus far this season. I don't even know really where I would go with this game. I think I'm going to go Green Bay. I think that they have shown with the weapons they have, they're able to use them a bit more. Aaron Jones last week played very well. They decided to give him the ball. I don't think he's been playing bad. I just think the offense hasn't given him the ball. Matt LaFleur just went away from him for some reason. I'm not sure why. But there's also the side of me that wants to pick Pittsburgh because, you know, they struggled the whole game, and then fourth quarter you always hear about the Pickett to Pickens touchdown to win the game. I think in this instance, I still lean towards Green Bay. I have Aaron Jones on my fantasy team, as you all know. So hopefully that is the reason why they win, is because they give him the ball again this week. But Pittsburgh defense is no joke. So I'm still gonna take Green Bay. I think Pittsburgh offense continues to struggle, and I think that Green Bay finally realizes the stud they have in the backfield, and they use him a bit more. Moving on, Tennessee, Tampa Bay, two quarterbacks who we did not know what they were going to be coming into this season. Baker Mayfield has bounced around from team to team. He played good at Cleveland. He obviously, that ended badly. Then he bounced around and played well for the Rams for the little stint that he was there. And we didn't really know what he was going to be. Also, with Will Levis, rookie, he wasn't starting. Some people said he was third on the depth chart. Some people said he was second. But when he got his chance, you got to give him credit. He made the most of it. So I'm going to take Tennessee. I think the young rookie keeps it going, bounces back after a tough loss Thursday night against the Steelers. Obviously, Mike Vrabel named him the starter for a reason. He's been balling. And so, I think Tennessee bounces back. I think Tampa Bay loses and drops them to third in the division in the NFC South. And so it's a big game, but I think that Tennessee pulls it out. Moving on to one of the other big quarterback matchups, or really not quarterback matchups, but team matchups we have this week. San Fran versus Jacksonville. This is a great game. Both teams are coming off of bye weeks. Jacksonville is on a 5-game winning streak, so obviously that is something of note, with San Fran coming off of a 3-game losing streak. Now, like I said, they're both coming off of byes. I think the teams are now fully healthy. I believe Trent Williams is back and Deebo Samuel is back for the 49ers. Jacksonville didn't really have any tough injuries, but a week of rest always helps everybody, no matter who it is. I'm going to take Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville wins his 6 games straight, and I think that the noise and the fodder around Brock Purdy struggling gets even louder in San Fran. Not sure what they're going to do. The trade deadline has passed, if that is the case, and they're worried about him. But he played 13 straight games and didn't lose, I believe it was. So it's impossible to think the kid's going to go undefeated. I think if you're riding with him when he's good, you've got to ride with him when he's struggling a bit. And to be honest, some of the games weren't all his fault. It's a team game for a reason. And so, but I'm still going to take Jacksonville. I love how Trevor Lawrence plays the game. I think Travis Etienne has been a stud. He's scored multiple touchdowns in multiple games this season. And the defense has been flying around. Josh Allen on the defensive side of the ball has been a menace. Obviously, Trayvon Walker, the first overall pick, hasn't been first overall pick worthy, but he's been a good player. They've got good pieces all around on that defense. And so I think Jacksonville continues their winning streak. Cleveland-Baltimore, another good game in division rivalry. This is the first time we are seeing Lamar and Deshaun Watson play each other in that division. But I'm taking Baltimore. It's simple for me. Cleveland's defense has been awesome, but Lamar Jackson has just been better than a lot of quarterbacks he's played against. He's playing for an MVP. This Ravens team is a legit Super Bowl contender, and with the run game that they have, that is very important as we get into the later months of football and playoff football as it gets colder, windier, rainier, whatever you want to call it. If you can run the football in the playoffs, you're a Super Bowl contender, right? And so with Lamar playing and being able to be that dual threat guy and actually be a dual threat guy with his arm talent really showing he's worked on that. Eyes are always downfield when he's out of the pocket, and then he runs. His run is a second option for him now. He's really fun to watch. And so I'm going to take Baltimore just for the simple reason of Lamar. He's been playing great and back to that MVP form status. Moving on, Atlanta, Arizona. We've got Taylor Heineke versus Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is back. He's starting his first game against Atlanta. Atlanta's defense has played really well, but Atlanta has a guy named Bijan Robinson, which I'm sure you all know. I'm sure there's a fantasy owner out there right now that's screaming at Artie Smith on the TV this upcoming Sunday for not playing him in the red zone. Something's going on there. I'm not sure what it is. Why you wouldn't run your, a top 5 draft pick who has shown that he can be a guy in this league. Why you wouldn't run him in the red zone, I don't know. Or you don't have to run him, just put him on the field. He's a difference maker. And so I don't know what's going on there. That it's very strange to me that they won't play him in those situations. Kyler, I think, coming off of an ACL, I'm not sure how he's going to look. It's something that if he looks like the old Kyler, then I think the Cardinals win. Obviously, James Conner is still not back for them. But this Arizona team has been a hard-fought win every single week. They haven't won every game, but every game they've played, they've given the team fits. They obviously beat the Cowboys earlier on in the season. That was with Josh Dobbs. For me, I think Atlanta wins this one just because of the quarterback consistency at this point. This is the second week that Taylor Heineke is starting for the Falcons. This is the first week back, like we mentioned, for Kyler Murray. And so I think with that being said, I think that Atlanta wins just because of that. I'm not sure how well Kyler is going to look. There's a lot of questions around him. And so with questions, you've got to look to the defensive side of the ball. I think the Atlanta defense has played a lot better this year. And so I'm going to take Atlanta. Detroit versus the Chargers. David Montgomery is coming back. Obviously, they have kind of struggled in the run game. Jahmyr Gibbs has played a lot better. He had that one really good game where they finally decided to give him the ball. But David Montgomery adds a different aspect to that offense in Detroit, and he's a thumper. He's going to run. He's going to try to tear down the defensive linemen, make them tired, and then they put in Jahmyr Gibbs to kind of get 20, 30-yard playoff because the defense is so tired. They make them respect the run with David Montgomery, and then they're able to throw the ball off of that. It's just basic football stuff, right? We all hear the announcers talk about it, but it's real when you have someone like Montgomery coming back and can be that, stalwart back. So I'm going to take Detroit for that reason alone. The Chargers, to me, are too inconsistent. They have all the talent in the world on the defensive and offensive side of the ball. They just can never put it all together. And until they do, I can't pick them. I simply just can't. Justin Herbert is a great quarterback, so we think, right? I mean, he plays really well, but it never feels like they can put it all together. And can you call someone a great quarterback if they can't put it all together? So we'll leave it at that, and I'm going to pick Detroit. Giants versus the Cowboys. What a game, right? The Cowboys laid it on the Giants first game of the season, 40-0. That was with a fully healthy team with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is now out with the ACL injury. This could get really, 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 really bad for the Giants. I don't know if it could get much worse, but it might with this game. Dallas is there. It's sad to see what the Giants have done. You had a lot of hope for them. Obviously, the questions around why they paid Daniel Jones that much money that early on when he only had one good season has come back to bite them in the butt. They've got to give him a bunch of more money if they cut him. So we'll have to see how that situation folds out in New York. But yeah, I'm taking Dallas. I'm sure everyone's taking Dallas. And look, if the Giants win, that's why we watch the NFL, because it will be insane. And if the Giants do beat Dallas, the conversation around Dallas is going to get loud, like really, 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 really loud. Washington, Seattle. Washington, we talked about it earlier. They were sellers at the deadline. I don't see them winning a lot more games, especially when they play teams like Seattle and some guys that are some teams that are trying to get into the playoff. Seattle, as I've mentioned before as well, they're very up and down. Geno hasn't had his best season so far. He's struggled a bit in some key situations, but I think that Washington is just they're not trying to win. They're trying to win games, but they don't have enough talent to win games. If they couldn't do it with two of their best defensive linemen, why can they do it now? It's kind of my train of thought. And so I think Seattle has a big win. They kind of get right back. They kind of get back on the train, the tracks, whatever you want to say, whatever cliche you want to add in there. Their offense gets back. Geno kind of gets into a rhythm. He gets his receivers going. Obviously, Kenneth Walker's a great back. They get him going. And the defense has been great for him. So I'm going to take Seattle. Sunday Night Football. Jets Vegas. Terrible game. No one cares about it. I don't know why the game hasn't been flexed out. The NFL has had like 3 or 4 games that they haven't flexed out that are in prime time, and it blows my mind. I'm going to take Vegas. The Jets got me last week. I thought Zach Wilson would play just up to the standard to help his team win a game, but he didn't. I don't believe in him at all. He's just can't do it. I don't know how it's that bad at all. But I'm taking Vegas. They won the first game with the interim head coach. Guys in the locker room are excited to be playing football again. I think they get back on track with another big win against the Jets. If you guys are interested in hearing my Monday Night Football take, make sure you hit the link in bio to get on my TikTok all Monday night and Thursday night are going to be on TikTok. Among other things, I'm going to be picking NBA slates on there. So, man, just come out. Also, the Discord's down below. Chat it up with me. I would love to hear your guys' sports takes, opinions, comments, and just have discussions. I love talking sports. So make sure you hit all the links in the bio to follow me. That way you can conversate with some of the stuff I say in videos. Give me some ideas of what you think how a team is playing, what a team might look up for a matchup. And so, yeah, I just appreciate you guys with all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.